Sacre Bleu, welcome to Rough Cut Film Review. This is a review of The Miserable. So this is a film adaptation of the musical Les Miserables, but it's not the first one actually. I had a look at this. Interestingly, there was a 98 all-star cast version of Les Mis, as people call it. That one had Liam Neeson, Geoffrey Rush, Uma Thurman and Claire Danes in it, so it was pretty all-star. And the score of it on IMDb would imply to me that it was quite a good film. So here we go. So as you've seen, if you've seen my previous reviews of things like Rec, you'll know that I'm not fantastic with accents. So what I'll do here is I'll just refer to the actors rather than the characters to any great degree. And I won't be saying things like Jean Valjean or I'll just stay clear. So here we go. Kick off. Les Miserables, 19th century France. We've got huge action, Hugh Jackman. He starts the film singing a sort of sea shanty thing. He's in a chain gang hauling a ship of the line into a dock. He's a prisoner, which basically makes him a slave. Quickly, we establish that he spent pretty much 2 decades as a slave for stealing some bread to feed his family. Russell Crowe is an authority figure that loves his job and hates crime, and he's very, very serious. Hugh Jackman, at the beginning, he finishes time as a slave. He's done his term. He has an incredibly tough time on the outside, gets a lucky break, and quickly decides that the way to go is to skip his parole, which he would have to do for the rest of his life, and forge a new secret life for himself. Along the way, he adopts a daughter, and an increasingly grumpy-looking Russell Crowe becomes obsessed with him and catching the parole jumper. So he's after him the whole time. So it vaguely reminds me of Great Expectations with the criminal. So, firstly, this is the first musical I've reviewed, and I'm not really au fait with musicals when it comes to it. Over the years I've been dragged to the odd one here or there, like The Lion King, etc., etc. Generally, I've thought, that was pretty good, I suppose, but it's not really a genre that I love. It's not exactly like horror for me, So, very quickly in this film, I sort of kind of forgot that they were singing, actually. It was more sort of acting, and that's due to the fact that the acting was very strong here from most of the cast. Most noticeably, Hugh Jackman and Anne Hathaway are both absolutely fantastic. Anne Hathaway actually isn't in that much of the film, but she puts in a remarkable performance with the time that she has. Absolutely fantastic. I did have a quick look at other reviews, and people have been very, very dismissive of Russell Crowe's performance. And while undoubtedly it's fun to shoot down someone who comes across in the media at times as a colossal Burke, to me he does a perfectly fine job. He's not the world's greatest actor, although from some of the things I've read he might suspect that he is, but he can hold a tune, and that's perfectly fine. I think he does okay with it. And when it comes to it, we are watching Hollywood A-listers, so they're there for their acting ability, surely. If we'd have wanted the best singers in the world, we wouldn't have gone for Hugh Jackman, although he does a great job. We'd have gone for professional actors who could probably do a little bit of acting, so we've gone that way around. And for the most part, the singing is really good. I mean, I'm really surprised at the quality. Everyone can at least hold a tune, and a lot of them can do a lot better than that, so it was pretty good. The film is very cinematic, and it sounded really bombastic in a bog-standard multiplex chain that I went to go and see it in. It looks great, and it really is worth seeing in the cinema. In terms of the tone, the film is very dark. It's a film of oppression more than it is of liberty and freedom. It's a film where bad things happen to good people, but it's not emotionally complicated to any great degree, so the morality for the most part is very black and white. There's an injection of sort of black humour in there from Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter's characters of sort of the sort of corrupt and unpleasant landlord and sort of petty thieves. When I think of musicals, I tend to think of peppy and uplifting stuff. This isn't that. I mean, the clue is in the title. It's called The Miserable. It's a very strong adaptation of what I would actually suspect to be a fairly or a vaguely flawed musical. The direction, the cinematography, and in the most part the acting are all absolutely excellent. I think it's a little bit too long, it's a little bit too ponderous, and it's a little bit too sort of self-grandizing. But There's a lot of good stuff in there actually, and I did enjoy myself. And it is a musical, so it's worth seeing in the cinema certainly. So if you get a chance to go and see it, I would very much recommend it. Not without its flaws, but it's a good ride. Kind regards, Christopher Thomas.